Good evening, Coach. Throughout a lot of our conversations, you've always mentioned that balance has been very important to you, not only tactically, but knowing when to circulate, knowing when to be vertical. I think, well, in my opinion, you got that pretty much spot on tonight. What do you make of the performance?
Yeah, it was a complete performance. We were very disciplined, we were very organised, and we were very aggressive. Once we got that shape and we're compact, we won the ball. That's our strength. The speed we have on transition is different class. The build-up, I think you're right. We were so patient. We knew what to do on the right. We knew what to do on the left. So I think it's progress. A little bit of what similar to the Unity Cup in terms of performance from the players, and perfect result for us. 3 goals, clean sheet, 60% possession, 18 shots, 9 on target. We looked to threat, set plays, and the goals that we had at the beginning were we had to win here. We had to show the Jamaican crowd that we could win here. We want to make this start of like a fortress, so we know. So we wanted that. We wanted to win the game because we wanted to stay in pot 1 for the draw, which was important. And I've got to say, I was very impressed with the surface, the pitch. I thought that's the best the field has been. It was a little soft, but it was harder, and you could see that the football and the build-up and the technique, the tactics were there for everybody to see. So we're delighted. We finished top, and as I say, I think certain individuals came to the fore, and I said to the players, now that's the standard that we want every game. If we get that, we've got a chance of winning football matches. So yeah, highly satisfactory.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spence. Coach, I want to expand upon that question actually. We have struggled against a number of teams in CONCACAF. We went against Nigeria. We were not good against St. Vincent. We were not good against BVI. Prior to that, we weren't good against Dominican Republic or Dominica. What do you truly attribute this performance to? Is it something that you did differently in terms of strategy that you employed? What lends to this performance in front of the home crowd? I know you talked about the field. I thought it looked pretty good today, actually. But if you take a step back, what did you do differently? What the team did differently, materially, to allow this performance to occur?
Yeah, look, anybody who saw us at the Unity Cup, that was the kind of shape and where we played, where we defended, where we transitioned, where we counter-pressed, where we got the ball wide, used the strength in them areas, worked hard. The key is just sheer hard work. And against you could see the players were comfortable passing the ball around the back. And when you get a bad surface, that's difficult to do that. And we have certain patterns in which we build up, and they weren't possible against the BVI. But I think the difference was the actual intensity of the game when we didn't have the ball, the actual organisation, and then the confidence to keep the ball when we won it back. And we looked to threat every time we won the ball and went forward. And I'm pleased about the clean sheet. So I think it's just a performance on from the Unity Cup. I think the BVI is not a game of football. It's the field levels the two teams in terms of football, and it was important that we controlled the game the way that we did. I think that was the key, that we were in control when they had the ball, and we were in control when we had the ball. But on Monday, I think that will be a totally different game against Guatemala.
Coach, you have described this performance as a complete one. I interpret that to mean that you're satisfied with the performance. How satisfied are you, and where does this put you on the trajectory towards the World Cup and ultimately the World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. The goal is the World Cup. That's the goal, and this is part of it. to finish top and to get into pot one. So that's been achieved. And now we build in the Gold Cup. So, you know, we've tried different things in the Unity Cup. We've tried different things here. It was good to see the players who came into the squad from the Unity Cup picked up on what we were trying to do. And the intensity is just, for me, the sheer work rate of all the players is key. You cannot win modern day football without 11 players, all organised, discipline, and working damn hard.
Mario and Wayne?
Coach, for the last 4 games, I've seen the deploy system where they're right back with an invert and come in the centre of the park, forming a double pivot. You start off with a double pivot, but the extra man in midfield will go forward. What would lead to making this decision, or my observation for it?
Very good observation. As I said before, we've been working quite a bit on build-up, what to get that better, but also in terms of rest defence. So if we do lose the ball, we're compact in the middle. We've got 3 and 2, and you know the way to do that is through the fullbacks inverted. That creates space on the wide areas. And if they go wide, that creates space down the middle, so it's difficult for opponents which one to choose. But for me, the key is the people who do it and how they did it, and making sure that we're always secure at the back with 3 and a 2, and we can attack in the width with 5. So it's something we introduced in the Unity Cup, where Dexter did it well, and I think Lati did it well as well today.
Wayne?
All right, Coach, you've said how pleased you are with the performance tonight, and the team did look good, yeah? But no coach is ever 100% happy with a performance coming up. Is there anything tonight that would have worried or concerned you going forward?
I think, again, I've talked about it a lot. With 18 shots, okay, 9 on target, but we can be more clinical. I think that was something that we missed against the BPI when we had the opportunity. So to score 3 goals was excellent. And a couple of times we just, on transition, they were quick and exposed us. Blakey made a couple of saves. But overall, I think, you know, throughout we did control the game. We did keep the ball well, and when we lost it, we got it back quickly.
Yeah, Coach, you know, with the World Cup, obviously the World Cup and the World Cup coming up, every coach will make minor adjustments to their team from time to time. How much of a step did Warner Brown and John Russell take to cementing their choice as first choice players with their performances tonight?
You know, John came in the Unity Cup, performed very well. He's a great number 8, goes box to box, can do his defensive duties, he's aggressive, gets in the box and can score goals. So that was important for us. And you know, Warner Brown, we needed energy in our number 9. You know, Roman Burrell did well in the Unity. Warner came the last game, and the last 2, and this one especially. It shows that, you know, you need a 9 to be able to press, and they press with intensity. And what I like about Warner, whenever the ball's in the box, he's in the box, he's in the middle of the goal, so he's always a threat.
Jeremy?
Coach, Jeremy, TVJ Sports. We meet the Guatemalans next week in the Gold Cup. How much do you take from today's game into next week's run?
I think we put it into perspective. I watched their game against Dominican Republic, I think on Friday. It was a huge win for them. And you could see that in the emotion after the game with the fans that were at home. And that cemented qualification when, if they'd have lost that game, which they were losing, would have put them in trouble. So we knew that it's different. From an emotional high of that win, the next game is always an emotional dip. And as well as we played, I don't expect Guatemala to play like that again next Monday. It will be a completely different Guatemala, probably with more intensity. But I think they were that relieved and you know, obviously they kind of celebrated qualifying, and so coming here was difficult. They made some changes. As I say, we got the job done. That's the main thing. But we know next week, on Monday, it's going to be tough.
Carry on. Coach, on the topic of getting ready for Guatemala again next week for the Gold Cup, after tonight's performance, do you think that you have to make a drastic change to the starting squad compared to like what you initially thought coming in? Now that you saw how well they meshed together.
Yeah, you know what I like is that we're building a squad where everybody else on the bench fits into what we're trying to do on the field. So it's one for Tyrese Campbell in. We've got Kaheem Dixon who can also do them wide areas. We've got Ramon Burrell and Warner. We've got Romario as well. And our midfield, you know, there's competition in there. So there's competition for places, and I think that was the message, that nobody comes here and should expect to play automatic. You have to earn the right. And now they've earned the right to play, now they've got to earn the right to stay in that shirt, because the competition is behind them is very good.
Jamal, Coach, international football, you don't get a lot of time, given the schedule recently. You got a lot of time to work with some of these players. Do you think that's going to be a positive going into the
I think so, and I hope so. You know, the advantage of the Unity Cup was to introduce some younger players along with the experience, and you know, I think we've grown the squad from that. But we have to keep that, and we have to, you know, the basics. That's what we say. This game's simple. You know, defend the box, score in the other box, and in between, run and run and run.
Eddie?
Yes, Coach. When you just came, you said that the team wasn't where you wanted it to be.
When does?
When you just came, you said you said that the team wasn't where you wanted it to be. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think the team is right now?
I would say 6, 7, purely because of consistency. We haven't seen that yet. So the next game is, you know, can we? The key in football is always consistency. Teams can always perform. And as I said before, I think Guatemala made some changes coming from an emotional high. You could see it affected them, and they'll be raging come Monday, dying to play it again. So it's just the standard that the players have set. That's what I said. You've set that, and the key is the work rate and the discipline and the organisation. That's a simple recipe for being able to win games.
CC and Livingston?
Afternoon, Coach. Night. Congratulations on the win, top in the zone, qualifying for the final round. I know you spoke about searching for that elusive goal scorer, and since Warner Brothers came in, 3 competitive starts, 4 goals, important goals to send us to the Gold Cup, goals to send us to the final round, go to top the zone. In terms of how he plays the position and if he's become undroppable, what's your thought?
You know, I think we first looked at him in the local camp, and we liked his energy and his enthusiasm and his pace, and he runs behind, and he's always in the middle of the goal. So to bring him in, and we threw him in against St. Vincent's second game, scored a great goal, and he's done the same ever since. But the work he does for the team out of possession is really integral to what we're doing at the moment.
Yes, Coach, just coming to your point you were mentioning earlier. This is probably the single best game we have seen the team play under your watch. Can we keep it up? Can we consistently produce performance like this, whether home or away or in big tournaments like the World Cup?
That's a good question, and a question that we will ask the team, and that's the next. So we'll finish this one, we'll rest tomorrow, and then Monday we know will be different. And consistency is key in performance, individually and collectively. And that's the standard. We need that again. You know, we're going to have tougher games than we did tonight, and certainly Monday will be that.
Good evening, Coach. Demara came into the squad primarily as a wide player, but we've seen him in the recent games playing in the half space along with Jonathan Russell. Is that where you see him for the foreseeable future, and what do you make of both of their players playing in the half space?
I think, I look at, I wanted wingers and I wanted quick wingers. I wanted them direct, and that's what we want. So Cephas at the present moment is such a threat with his speed that that left wing is difficult to break into. But we've got competition. Boy, Ty Campbell came in. Demu can go out there and keep the ball for us. In that, you are right, in that 8 position, 10 position, we've got the likes of Casey and Dimmy, and it's great competition for them. And they know that they have to do the work. It's not about what they do on the ball, it's also what they do without the ball. And I think if you get 11 players doing that, you're very difficult to break down.
Good evening, Coach. Winning, of course, is very important in football, and the next couple of World Cup matches, when you look at the schedule, you look as if you win all your home games, you could be heading to the World Cup. Would you say a burden has been lifted off your shoulder, delivering your first victory on Jamaicans in front of the home fans for the first time?
Well, we won at Savannah Park. But it was important to win here. That's what we said. That was number one on the agenda. The goal that we wanted was to win in the national stadium and to score. And the players have done that, so that was achieved. So I'm pleased about that. And the last thing we need to do is get complacent and pleased with ourselves, because that's gone. Next one.
Last question right here.
Good night, Coach. John Stewart, J55. We saw Mason Holgate go down early in the game, had to be replaced, as well as Hayden went down for a bit and it continued. Can you provide an update on their fitness?
Yeah, I think Hayden has a problem, long-standing problem with his ankle. So we need to assess that. And as you say, Mason Holgate, I think tweaked his knee, so we're a little concerned about that, but we'll know more tomorrow and the next day.
Thank you, Coach.
Members of the media, Thursday the draw for the final round will be at 6 p.m. on Conference YouTube channel. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.